Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
I've got rhythm, although you probably can't tell it from that example, but I'm trying, and as long as we try, we will get there. That's right. Keep going, people, keep going. Good morning, and welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm so excited to be here with you today, primarily because when we come together, number one, we are fulfilling that wonderful promise that guarantees us that where two or more of us comes together, and we've got that same heart set, that same soul set, that spirit of being of service to others, Spiritual magic is what happens. Can I get an amen? They're free, they don't hurt, and they are powerful. Give me an amen. It means we are in agreement. That's right. Amen. Good morning, everybody. It's hump day. We have made it halfway through the week, and boy, what a week, right? I usually, one of my morning routines, before or someplace in there between when I wake up and now, I get my news through NPR. And this morning I turned it on and it was on for probably 3 seconds. And I was like, Alexa, shut the hell up. I'm not kidding you. I'm so glad the election is over. I don't know about you, but I am. I'm just those bashing commercials, all that backstabbing and backbiting and prayer. Let's just pray that the decisions were based on what we need. Okay. But again, we can't complain if we didn't vote. So remember that. It's always nice to embrace those opportunities to be heard. Can I get an amen? Yes, that's right. So here we are on Hump Day. And I wanted to just tell you guys, yesterday, Trajectory TV was officially 1 week old. The newborn is doing well and still keeping me up all night, just like a real life baby. And I just want to say that is some of the most welcomed non sleep time when you are living and moving within your divine purpose. You don't get the sleep you need, but you still wake up with even more energizing power, more empowering opportunities, because the litmus test of purpose is it always brings us more, right? Can I get another amen? So that's going on. Get your show concepts. The Facebook page for Trajectory TV is up and live. Our website is just about there. You can still go on, but not everything is populated, but you have access to everything we've already put there. I'm so excited. That website is being built by a 14-year-old Romanian youth. His name is Mishna, and you're going to hear more. As a matter of fact, he's my guest this Friday on Veterans Day, all the way from Romania. This kid is absolutely brilliant, a true genius, and you're going to find out what he does with it this Friday. So mark your calendars for that. Today's Wednesday, which means a brand new episode of Licensed for Love, the heartbeat and relationship conversation drops with myself and my good friend and partner, my brother from another mother, Cowboy Jax Young from Nashville, Tennessee. Get over to YouTube and check out Jax's latest music. It's on there. He's a Nashville star, and he is half of the diversity duo. Just ask your Alexa to play Licensed for Love podcast, or go find it on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast content. And again, don't forget, brand ambassador, I'm wearing it now, Triple Nickel. Congratulations to my brothers and fellow veterans who are now inside Triple Nickel, the apparel company, inside of Kohl's, 650 stores. So please get online or go to your nearest Kohl's and look for the Triple Nickel display and support what they're doing. They've been so good to us here at Power of Wisdom Symposium, and I love them dearly. And finally, today is the day. Ringing the bell. The book is out. Get over, and I'm going to provide a link. And if Misty is here, Misty, publisher, would you go ahead and drop that link into the comments for ease of operation? Yes, you guys, align, attract, accept, and accelerate abundance. I love every one of those A words. Yes, I do. Because for a long time, I was using a different A word in reference to myself, but I love myself today, and I love showing and telling people how I did it. So get over and get on my page. There'll be lots of information there. So who do we have today? Giving Tuesday. This is that time. The bell ringers are going to be outside your grocery store any minute now. Already, almost every checkout stand, no matter where you go, will say, would you like to donate to at the end, or would you like to round up to? And I always listen. You do too. Like, is the person in front of me going to give? Am I going to be guilted into giving? You know, it's a very interesting dynamic because sometimes we don't know what those organizations are, right? Who they represent, or, and I'm just going to keep it real. Not every nonprofit is doing what they need to be doing. Just like everything else, somebody's going to try to get in with an angle. So today's guest, Wendy Huffman, is pretty much an expert on a variety of things, but primarily we want to talk today with our guest about nonprofits. Why? Because she is the founder of Let's Make the Difference nonprofit, and she focuses primarily on a global mindset. Here's what Wendy has to say. She is a visionary, innovator, and founder of Let's Make the Difference and the Let's Make the Difference global network of nonprofits. Now, Wendy is changing lives in Africa with a simple idea, which is empowerment of community leaders with access to technology and transformational education. Now, while bringing together community organizations to create synergy, Wendy also speaks on creating life after loss, ways to find purpose, and how to have an impact wherever you are, as well as inspiring others with her very own story. So that can't get any better, I don't think. And I'm so excited today. We're going to really dive into this as we move into the giving season, because, there's Giving Tuesday. But what if our, let's just say, our daily meals, right? What if it was breakfast Wednesday, lunch Saturday, dinner Tuesday, and we only got those things on those days? I'd be like, what? Mm-mm. Every day needs to be a meal day for this one. Clearly, if you saw these handles, that'd be a little, let's just say. Anyway, but just think about it, because a lot of the underserviced communities that a lot of nonprofits support, it's not just when you see them going, can you help me? It's every day of the year that whatever that recipient is dealing with, well, they're dealing with it then too. So we're going to get into that and more. So she's never been here. Wendy is the first timer. So let's roll out the virtual red carpet, shall we? Which means put some hearts on the screen as we welcome with our own version of a standing ovation. Here she comes, the founder of Let's Make the Difference, Wendy Huffman. Hi, Wendy. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. Good morning to you, Lauren. What a great intro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just got to say it because I know everybody's going to be thinking it. First of all, I love your promo picture. I love the way you remind me of Jackie O.
Oh, thank you. That's
Have you never heard that?
Doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, a few people have said that.
Right. You've heard that before, haven't you?
I have. It's still takes me back a minute. It's very flattering.
God. Girl, you got to get that pink outfit with the hat and stuff. Now, don't go like some of those people and throw all the blood on it. But I would love to see you dressed up for Halloween as Jackie O. You get my vote for sure. So,
next year, I promise I'll do it.
Thank you. Hey, so Wendy, I have a tradition here. I like to leave for a minute and let you just have an intimate moment to introduce yourself and say a little bit about what they heard me describe. Then I'll come back in and we'll get started. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
So
all right. It's all you.
Just talk about okay. So I'm Wendy Huffman. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm so honored for all the kind words. So thank you, Lauren. But let's make the difference. It exists to create the environment of leadership and empowerment and self-reliance in challenged economies. And how do we do that? We provide access to technology so people can participate in transformational education, and we can help them create economic opportunities in their communities. So we bring organizations together that are already doing good things, and we collaborate and create joint ventures and fundraising opportunities for betterment of all. So that's about Let's Make the Difference and LMTV network of nonprofits.
Well, all righty then. So let's start with, you have an event coming up, and it's created around Giving Tuesday, correct?
Yes, it's November 18th. It's going to be the live recording of it, and then we're going to edit it and rebroadcast it, and on at least 8 different channels. We're hoping Trajectory will take it on too.
Yeah. So what's going on? What is it?
My vision is to have a pitch party. Now, I don't know if Eric Zulli and his Easy Way Network and the Wall of Fame, and every other week he has this pitch party where people come on and you have 30 seconds to share what you're up to, and and an ask, and it's just a lot of fun. It's like a family environment. And it gave me the idea, like, what if we could get a bunch of nonprofits together to share what they're up to in the world? Like, I mean, a whole variety. I want the, protection for animal, against animal cruelty. I want the, cancer with kids, helping kids with cancer, Veterans Administration,
Sure.
like the whole feeding the hungry, all of it, homeless,
Just a nice
everybody.
variety.
Yeah, all these different ones come on.
Okay.
Pitch what they're up to, and also what's their ask. Do they have something, not financial? All nonprofits are looking for money, right? But what else do they need
Right.
that could take them to the next level, and share that? And then we're going to edit it and broadcast it on Giving Tuesday.
Great.
And what my goal is that people get inspired. Like, they'll find their noble cause in this 2 hours. Like, okay, like, not everybody's moved by doing work in Africa. I've had people tell me, like, there's kids starving here in Nashville. Like, why don't we help them? And I'm like,
Right.
$60 a day. I mean, $60 won't impact people in Nashville. $60 a month, as much as I can. That's a month's salary for somebody in Africa.
Right.
So the
And there are a lot of local and national aid opportunities for people here. I get it.
Yeah.
And everybody has a lane. Everybody has a lane.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Some people like,
yeah.
I want to help animals. People can help themselves. I'm like, perfect. We need people helping animals. We need people cleaning the beach. We need people doing all these things.
We do. So
we just need to inspire people to get out of their armchair and do something. And that's what I'm hoping to do, that people get, inspired to find their cause.
mhm. Okay. So before we go into that, I want you to just kind of like, this is a vulnerability opportunity. You told me the story. I'd like to know if you're comfortable sharing it. So you have the nonprofit, and the Africa thing. It's not just like you pulled a name out of a hat. There's a backstory to why you feel an obligation to continue a dream of your husband, your late husband. So share that, everybody. I think that's an important piece of this patchwork quilt that we're crafting today.
Thank you. Yeah, my husband and I loved to travel. We actually had sold everything in 2013 and traveled 2 years around South America. And everywhere we went, we volunteered. We went to, we'd rent an apartment for 3 months. We're travelers, not tourists, right? So, and we'd look for people doing good local in the community and see what we could do to help them. Sometimes it was volunteering with them. Sometimes it was, a little donation or whatever. But we used to talk about, like, if we could just be a megaphone, a spotlight and a megaphone, people in the States would be these people didn't have anything, but whatever they had, they used to make their communities better. So anyway, my husband took a 6-month walkabout around Africa. He'd been to South Africa. And then, anyway, he was in Zambia, Africa. He found this school, the Youth Community Training Center, and just fell in love with Sister Maureen, ran it. And every day for like 3 weeks, we just talked about how could we help them raise funds? How could we put a spotlight and a megaphone on them? A teacher made $60 a month, and they just didn't have enough to pay their teachers. And so I was helping him create, a fundraising thing. And he did do a speech.
Really getting on my last nerve already. I'm going to rebuke it.
Yeah.
Get out of here, thing that doesn't serve us. Well, Wendy, hopefully we'll be right back. While we're waiting, okay, Wendy, it's not that windy here in the Chicago area today, but something's going on with the internet. So we're just going to work our way through it regardless. Okay. All right. I want to show people, since this is built around Giving Tuesday, and every time you turn around, there's another day, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, that I can't keep it straight. So somebody better come up with something quick, because Wednesday and Saturday are, I think, the only two. Oh, no, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Come up with something, and then we'll have one for every day of the week. So there's that. Let's take a look at a short clip I found that can give us a little idea as far as the true history of Giving Tuesday. You might be surprised when you find out that it is not that old at all. It's a very young holiday, and I wonder, will it actually stick and become a tradition that will last? Let's take a look.
Giving Tuesday is coming up on its 10-year anniversary. It started in New York back in 2012 as a way to encourage people to donate and volunteer worldwide, especially following consumer holidays like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So, did it really change the way people support charities? Delia Gonzalez verifies.
Our sources are Woodrow Rosenbaum, Chief Data Officer at Giving Tuesday, and this document, Giving in Unprecedented Times, Giving Tuesday's in-depth analysis on data and trends in 2020.
10 years ago, there was no concept that it was going to be this big.
According to Rosenbaum, Giving Tuesday has changed the way we donate to charity and has extended the giving season worldwide.
Because that barrier to entry is so low and it's so fun and celebratory, people have found ways to give and ways to come together to give that end up lasting beyond the day.
Rosenbaum says the organization has seen double-digit growth in giving every year, but in 2020, during the height of the pandemic, donations hit an all-time high at $2.5 billion in just 24 hours. So who are these donors?
Wow.
The data tells us the majority are first-timers. Donations of up to $100 amounted to 57% of all donations in 2020. Contributions between $101 and $500 showed the most growth, accounting for 28.3% last year. Compare that to 10.7% in 2019.
What we saw prior to 2020 was continued contraction in the giving economy. So fewer and fewer people doing more of the giving each year. And that trend completely reversed.
The top organizations attracting these new donors were in the fields of human services, health, environment and animals, and education. So what are we likely to see in charitable giving this year? Analysts are still collecting that data, but so far, the trends look good.
We're basically flat in terms of dollars against 2020, more or less. That's actually pretty good news because 2020 was up.
There is still time for you to donate on this Giving Tuesday. Go to our website, WUSA9.com.
Or one of the many organizations that our guest Wendy Huffman is familiar with. So it's a pretty new tradition, this Giving Tuesday. Why'd you choose Giving Tuesday? Just to get on the boat, or do you know something we don't about that Giving Tuesday thing?
Well, the projections this year are 3.2 billion.
Wow.
And it's, it's right after our Thanksgiving holiday. People are present to the gratitude that they have for the life that we have in this country. And it's just an opportunity for people to focus on what difference they want to make in the world.
Right.
Like, where do they want to throw their hat, in the ring and say, I want to be a part of people doing good in the world.
Right. One of the things that I wish I could see more of, and perhaps you can address this a bit, since you do help bring these organizations together in your own way, is before this career, I was an event planner for 20 some years, and I specialized in fundraising events for nonprofits. So I swam around in their pool quite a bit. And one of the things I remember, one time I got called out to the Los Angeles area to consult on some issues that food banks were having out there. And what we found was that there were 40 or 50 food banks in a 50-mile radius, and they didn't know, the front end of the horse didn't know what the back end was doing. A lot of the work was duplicitous. There was a lot of waste because they all tried to have a little of something, and they'd have an overabundance of one thing, say produce or whatever, perishables, breads and things like that, and not enough of the other things. And so the purpose of the trip was to split up the work, make certain areas known for, here's where you get all your grains and stuff, here's where you go for all your canned goods, here's where you go for meats and things like that. And it was more effective. Took about 5 years for the numbers to really start moving the needle, but it eventually got there. So do you feel that someday this country should have a cap on certain, like there should only be this many nonprofits that service this, so that we can keep an eye on the change? That's the thing that gets me so much, is It's like, okay, everybody wants, where's all this money really going? Because is it not changing? If it's not changing or moving the needle, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, I don't want the government to
That's a
cap
big question.
anything.
It's a big question. I get
It
it.
is a big question. And this is kind of my vision for the collaboration between nonprofits. Like my vision, when my husband died over there, and we had talked about doing a fundraiser, and so I started Let's Make the Difference. But it was like, okay, let's do community centers with computers because they don't have computers. They don't have access to the internet. It's so expensive over there. But then I realized, like, there's already community centers there doing good. I mean, they do job training, and they
Yeah.
do, health and wellness training. They do all these things. So I thought all I need to do is be a resource and provide internet. So right now we have 5 nonprofits. 4 of them are in refugee camps, and we've bought routers, and we're paying their monthly Wi-Fi bill. With the goal of giving them economic opportunities with that, so that they can pay their own bill. It's all about self-reliance. We're giving them, we're teaching them how to fish. That's the goal. It's not a handout. Even the people that take our courses, they volunteer back time to their local community center in exchange for attending the course.
So tell me this, what does Let's Make the Difference do to provide follow-up so that people like myself and all of the people out here watching today, when we donate, in many cases, we never get to find out what happened. What was the result? Can we see the faces of the recipients, or where did our money go exactly? So what do you guys do to ensure, if you do, I'm hoping you do, that those who support you get to experience as much of the experience as possible and not just the here you go part?
Lauren, that's been a big weakness. And we've kind of taken the last year to, there's basically like 4 of us running this whole thing. And we have 10.
That's a big piece of it too, for a
Yeah,
lot of
that
nonprofits.
is. And we have like 10 leaders on the ground in Africa. We started a Facebook group called Let's Make the Difference Community Group.
Mhm.
And so I've been encouraging people to post, what they got out of it, put the videos up. I mean, we've had about 250 people go through our transformational courses, and now they're starting with the Young Entrepreneur Alliance and doing entrepreneurial courses, and I'm really excited about that. So it's like we want their feedback, and we want them to put videos on that site, so anyone can join that group and see, and interact with our participants. We've had great, our leaders now, they actually came to me and said, can you empower us to manage the local thing? We were doing all of this ourselves from here, trying to manage Africa, up all night during a course to, interact with them. And then the leader said, why don't you let us do that? Give us the responsibility. And I thought, oh, that was my goal, was to create these leaders to take that job over. And that's why I could launch the network of nonprofits, because they took that off my plate.
Okay. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
So what's the primary area of focus for your organization in Africa?
Well, for Let's Make the Difference, it is, it was creating leaders so that they could rise up and solve their own problems. We're not trying to tell them what they need. They know what they need.
I mean, geographically.
Oh, well, we have participants in over 8 countries. Our main leaders are in Zambia and Kenya and Nigeria and Uganda.
So are those specifically chosen because they're like the metropolitan areas of those areas where people can get to, or how do you go about choosing where the greatest need is?
Actually, it's all the leaders that rise up.
That say, can you help us?
Yeah, they raised their hand and said, we want to be a part of this. And over 100 of our participants are in the refugee camps in Kakuma and Kilabei. And that's exciting. They've made amazing. We have 60 women that have taken our African Women Leadership course that the University of Zambia created, and we've and given us some reduced rates so we could sponsor the women, and then we provide the internet, we provide food for them,
Okay.
and then they go. So it's mainly where the leaders rise up, and it's kind of that way with what we focus on. We have a permaculture club because someone raised their hand and said, I'd like to share what I know about permaculture. Okay, well then, if you're managing it, we'll support it.
So let's shake the snow globe up for a second,
Okay.
so that as it clears, we can have a clearer picture of what you're talking about here. Let's go back, if we could, to the refugee camps, the people, the women. So refugee camps, what's the average stay for a person in one of those places? Because it sounds like it's a transitional thing, or it should be.
The intention was, I think, of
What?
the refugee camps, when
No
they,
longer is?
well, there's third generations that are there now.
Still there.
Yeah. The refugee camps in Kakuma and Kilauea are like 800,000 people. 800,000. Here's the biggest
That's a
shock.
whole city.
It is. It's a very large
If
city.
they were here, they'd have their own zip code.
Yes. And here's the biggest shock to me.
Okay, wait. I'm stuck. Are you guys too? I feel like something just hit me in the middle of the forehead. I swear I felt a bump rising. Why do they use the term camp? And it makes a person like me see tents and shanties and fire pits and when it's an entire city.
Yeah, it's a tent city. Pretty
Why
much.
isn't it a refugee city?
I don't know that one. But here's the big surprise for me was that a lot of these people are educated and they have college degrees. They're super intelligent. They're very ambitious. They're kind of stuck there. They can't leave without a job or a paper. Like when they left the city, I had to, we sent 11 of them to Nairobi for one of our courses because the internet was so bad. And they would drop in and out and they couldn't participate. And there was this one weekend that I thought was a really important course. And it was like $1,200 to get a bus and send them 23 hours to Nairobi. And the thing is that there's all this paperwork. They're fleeing from war and they're fleeing from famine. And a lot of them don't have proper papers and they can't leave.
For 3 generations?
I know.
How does that even remotely speak to change? I mean, however many years ago this camp actually started, when it was actually a camp, I hope, I'm sure it wasn't that number. How did it keep growing? And someone say, wait a minute, we need to revisit what we're doing here. I just don't understand how you can call 800,000 people a camp.
Well, I mean, it's war, and it's like if we could impact the devastation that's happening and the annihilation that's happened in these other countries where
have you been there?
I have not been there.
Have you seen videos and of the actual, like somebody walking through the place
of the camp?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm on.
Call it this, the camp.
Yeah, I'm on Zoom all the time with them, and matter of fact, one of them was.
Wait, oh my God! Wait. Okay, hold on. I gotta ask. I'm sorry to interrupt. So 800,000 people. Is there a fire department? Is there a hospital? Are there policemen? Are there municipalities? What in the world?
Yeah, UNESCO, from my understanding of it, and I'm not the expert, believe it or not. I mean, I've been focusing on one-on-one with the people, but UNESCO and they manage it. And so it is patrolled. It's very patrolled. I've been assured it's very safe because we're planning a trip there next year and taking volunteers. And we're actually, I think there's talk about doing some TV, a TV show, a special about it. And just to see, how they live, how they survive, and how they make the best of it. It's actually very inspiring to me how they have risen above it. But I have participants who, one, their father was a political person who was assassinated, of people who were starving, people that were running from abuse, governments coming in and just slaughtering people. And so they left. So they have a refuge. They have food deliveries. There's jobs within the camp where they can, that's the other thing I wanted to do, is do microloans to get them started. In Zambia, we have our first microloan. For $650, one of my leaders started a used clothing kiosk, and he's making about $70 a month, which is what he made as a teacher before he got laid off with COVID. So it's like, gee, maybe we can be the goodwill of Africa. I don't know.
Now, you mentioned the women. Let's peel another layer to that one, as far as identifying a demographic within this 800,000 person camp. What about the children? What about the health and welfare of the children? How's that looking, and what can we do to make that a better situation, in your opinion?
Yeah, one of the nonprofits that I work with deals with the youth as they come in. They said suicide is very, very high in the refugee camps. I mean, there's just they just don't see any end to the suffering in their life, right? So that's another area I'm looking for someone to take on. They train the youth for jobs. That's why having an internet was so important, because they can make more money online. And if you think about this, Lauren, we have a labor force of 800,000 people there who will work for a very low cost. I mean, $70 a month, then that's, a living wage for them.
What do they live in?
They're like tents. They're like structured tents.
So there's not like brick and mortar buildings and apartments.
I have seen some. They have, and that's we're gonna get more information about that. I know they have like common water, a fountain that they go to fill up their jugs in the morning. I've had people say, Miss Wendy, can I call you back in about an hour and a half? I have to go wait in line for my water, or I can't be a part of that event because that's when the food trucks come and we have to get.
Oh my goodness. A little off topic here, but still relevant. During the event I held, the competition, the global competition, the Next Impactor, one of our entrants was a woman. She was sponsored by someone in the UK, because she couldn't have afforded even the $25 entry fee. And I'll never forget how on one of the first team meetings, they were split up in teams for the first round. She was muted the whole time, and she was sitting there, and she had a flashlight inside of a coffee mug pointing up. So it was very eerie. It's almost like a Hitchcock movie or something, because it was glowing up. And I was like, what's the deal with that lady in Africa? Is she okay? And the sponsor told me she has to do that because she only has so many hours of power. And she was running an orphanage. It was in an apartment. I think she had 15 kids in this apartment with just her and one other woman, providing shelter, because they took them literally off the streets, and they were little ones, 2 and 3 and 4. I couldn't believe it. And I was she couldn't even hear what we were saying, but she was intent for the entire 90 minutes. She would rather be nowhere else in the world. And I have never forgotten that frame that night, because it showed me how just being there and looking through a window of hope, whether she could hear us or see us or not, just, with a flashlight. And I'm looking at the other people, the other 10 or 12 people on the screen, their backgrounds, sitting on their couches, and you see the fireplace burning. Somebody hands them a drink, all these different things. And I was like, and then look at her. And it was very sobering, to say the least. It was very sobering. So I get what you're saying. So we're going to take just a second break, and we're going to come back. And when we come back, I'd like you to have a short list of things that people may not even realize that they have at their disposal that could help, little ways that make big differences. We're going to get into that and a little bit more between now and the end of the broadcast. So, you guys, now's a great time to share this worthy conversation out. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris, your host. Before we get our guest, Wendy Huffman, back in, you just saw a little clip from this past year, 2022's Power Week Symposium, which was held here in Chicago. Now, on my page, currently, it was released last night. It is official. We will be taking the Power Week Symposium, the entire team, and any of you that would like to join us, May of 2023. We're headed to Romania for a 14-day tour, and it is the Legacy of Hope tour. We're going to be bringing hope in all kinds of ways to the worthy kids of Romania and just the general population at whole. If you'd like more information how you could possibly join us, let me know. Just email me at laurenmichaelsharris@gmail.com. We're so excited to be partnering with the International Children's Foundation based out of Geneva, Switzerland. Also partnering with Comfort Cases, providing 200 cases of things that kids need, toiletries and whatnot, as they move around from place to place over there. And also, we will be working with the United States State Department, going as diplomatic immunity candidates and bringing hope from all of us here in the United States. So please keep your eye on my page, all my socials, more information as we get closer. We'd love to have you join us. That's the Power of We Legacy of Love tour coming in 2023 May. So welcome back, Wendy. Thank you for being so patient. So we've got about almost 10 minutes, and I wanted to get into this event again coming up on November 18th. It is a pitch party, but it's not like, Shark Tank where people are judging or this. It's really just a way, if I understand it, for people to connect with other people that are in the nonprofit sector, or perhaps someone is building out their dream of a nonprofit. There's a lot of stages to that. And you could learn from the people that are already officially 501(c)(3) or 504. So I have a little clip about nonprofits. There may be some things you don't understand. There's not just 501. I think there's 504. There's also a thing known as social enterprise. And in order to understand why you're giving, you should understand the how of what it does, all the moving pieces, so that you can tell other people why you do it. And then we can grow that way. So we're going to take just a little peek into something I found that will explain a little bit what are the different kinds of nonprofit organizations.
Welcome back. So now we're going to talk about different kinds of nonprofit corporations. Now, there are two kinds. There's the 501c3 that comes from our tax code. That's the public charity, and the 501c4, also known as a social welfare organization. So those are the two kinds that we normally see. These are corporations that must serve a civic, educational, charitable, or religious purpose. And they must pass an organizational test, and they must have a board of directors. Especially for that organizational test, see your lawyer, okay? You must have a board of directors. That's non-negotiable, okay? And that kind of prevents corruption in theory, right? Now, the bad thing about the nonprofit corporation is the fact that it cannot seek other forms of funding. So you can't get like a bank loan, you can't sell shares or whatever. But what you can do is seek you can seek tax deductible donations. So let's give an example of like Goodwill or Goodwill Industries. That's a very large charity in the United States. You can drop off like, I don't know, let's say I don't like this book or something. And I can drop that off and I can tell them this book is worth $20 and they say, okay. And they give me a receipt for that. And then I can claim a tax deduction. And then they'll take that book that I gave them and they will sell it in their books, in their thrift shop. And that's how they raise money. That's what a charity and a social welfare organization can do. And that's how they raise a lot of their money. Now there's some others like, Homeboy Industries that we've talked about, that have, social enterprises and some other variants. But that's the main idea behind the 501c3 and 501c4. That's the main.
Okay. So that gives us a little bit, clearer picture of the differences. And do you work with any social enterprises?
Well, the ones in Africa, yeah, they're some of them are for profit. Like they have, there's some that are vocational training centers, and they kind of some of them do basic living training for some of them, and then some of them are nonprofits that actually work with UNESCO, and we're actually filing paper to get approved by UNESCO to get credibility in the camp.
Do you ever work with nonprofits, also known as NGOs, from other countries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are our leaders. Those are our leader organizations over there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I mean like other countries like the UK.
Yeah, I have. Let's see. I'm open to it, definitely, and that's what I'm creating with this. On the November 18th is to bring them from all over the world. There's actually one in New Zealand that I'm working with for dyslexic children, and we're gathering together. Are we?
We're back.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying was there's a dyslexic organization that works, I think, out of New Zealand or the UK. I'm not sure which. I got connected through somebody in New Zealand from the UK.
Okay.
But there are other organizations.
There are. Okay, awesome. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the chewy, ooey, gooey center of this.
And can you hear me?
Oh, I'm so over this internet today. I'm trying to remember that I love Jesus because I'm putting every time it goes out, I add another cuss word to the list. So I'm trying to, okay, Jesus, help me. So listen, what can people do? What are you looking for? Is it primarily money? Because a lot of nonprofits will say, don't send us any more pencils. Don't send us in. We have warehouses full. We need money to get the things that people cannot send us. Things like bread, things like, socks or whatever. Talk about that. What are some of the things you're hearing with your ear to the ground that are immediate needs that people might not consider they could help with?
Actually, one of the police officers in Zambia told me they desperately need used cell phones, like Android cell phones. Like, can you just ship me a box of those?
And why do they need those? I remember you told me this.
Well, they're expensive. The smartphones there.
Who needs them?
Well, they were talking like for their police force and
for the police force.
Yeah,
right.
and they have again, internet is $10 a day. You know, when you're talking, you make $60 a month. That's
Right.
outrageous. But the cell phones too, the smart cell phones are like over $100 each. And so they're like dealing with these little $5 and $10 phones. A lot of them have, if they get a used smartphone, then they just don't use it, and then they turn it on for the internet when they absolutely
When
have
they
to have
need
it.
it. Right.
Yeah.
So
But
they're not sitting there scrolling and taking selfies and playing,
yeah,
song
it's
pop.
yeah,
Right.
it's all
Right.
just as needed. But what I think nonprofits need is wisdom. You know, we need what I need, and I can't speak for all of them yet. I hope to gather together and get a voice and find out what everyone else needs. But I need mentorship, I need coaching, I need wisdom. I'm seating a new board. We're interviewing for a new board. But
Okay.
coaches and courses, like, to offer them, like, okay, now we got the internet, and we're buying some computers for them. We're hoping to get like a big screen so we can project. But we need courses. People
I
like
love that.
yeah, like the
Content.
entrepreneurial course. We have Kathy Wehage offers business planning that she teaches with them, and then we have this entrepreneurial course that's a 10-week course to help them overcome their limiting beliefs about success. And
Perfect.
this bracelet, I wanted to say about this. This is called a Let's bracelet, and this actually teaches a woman about her cycle so that she has a choice about whether or not she wants to have 17 kids, which is common in Africa. So you just move the little charm around and they teach them which days that they need to abstain, and this is from let'sempower.org. And that's the whole thing about collaboration. But it's $500 to train somebody to teach this in a community organization. And that's my goal. Especially people who have a desire to be in the medical world. Let's start with teaching them how to teach people about their bodies.
I love it.
I know. And this is this bracelet. She does a Tom's shoes type thing. Buy one, give one. For everyone she sells, she sends one over to. She's in Haiti and just expanding now to Kenya.
Okay.
So I'm working with them to get my community centers with a medical person to start sharing this.
Awesome. Hey, the link that we see scrolling along the bottom, let's make the difference.org. Is this the place to go, the place to be, not only to donate, find out more information about the plethora of organizations that you connect people to, but is there a list in there? And can people contact you there to say, hey, I've got a course. Hey, I'd like to donate some books. Hey, call on me. Is that the place to go?
Yes, they can go there. And then for the event, if they're interested in the event, it's LMTD for Let's Make the Difference, lmtdglobal.org. And that's the registration page to go to the event.
Will you drop that in the comment section at the conclusion here?
Sure.
When we're done? Don't do it now.
Okay.
I don't want you to leave yet. And there, for those of you who have trouble squinting to see little words like myself, there it is, big and bold on the screen. Let's make the difference.org. And I'm going to drop that one into your comment section right now.
Okay,
so you have it for ease, everyone. I'm going to get that in there for you. And let me see. I think we've pretty much covered it today. I want to say this. I'm very proud of the work you're doing. Thank you, Sherry McQueen. She has dropped it. Thank you, Sherry. I can always count on you. I love you, girl.
And could she put lmtdglobal.org too for people?
LMTD.global.
No, global. lmtdglobal.org. And that's the registration page for the event.
Okay. So, Sherry, can I count on you to put that one in there? Thank you so much for that. So, Lori Whitney, Robert, Brooker, good morning to all of you. Thank you so much. Sherry and the rest of you. Oh boy, look at that. Okay. Ross McCrary, how you doing, man? Let's catch up soon. How's your health? Sending lots of light and love to you, my friend. So get over and get yourself some information and register for the event coming up on November 18th. Perhaps you or someone you know has an idea, or it's already here. Your nonprofit is official and you'd like to let people know about it. Get over to the event again on the 18th. And for those of you who just want to be of service, like I know you do, there on the screen is the connector. Let's make the difference. I want to say again how wonderful it has been, and I am saluting you and your team, Wendy, for all of the great work you guys are doing to make a big, big difference in this world. We couldn't do it alone. That's why it's the power of we and not the power of me. Can I get an amen? So listen, do you guys, let me see who's here tomorrow. Let me see, who is it? Oh, Yvette Jones Swanson. Oh, that's the story of transformation. Wait till you see what this woman did after oh, well, I don't want to tell you too much. Watch the page for the promo today. Incredible. God bless you, Wendy, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure your husband is shining down and proud as can be. It's always nice when you can leave something purposeful that someone else can pick up and take all the way and even closer to, or across that finish line. So get out there today, you all, and be the very best version. Did I say very best version? Now that was a senior moment. I'm just saying, did you ever have those, Wendy? And you guys out there that are 40 and under, you have junior moments. You just haven't named them yet. Trust me. You think it's just, it slipped my mind. That's how it starts. Listen, you guys, it's a wonderful day to be alive. Show the universe that you appreciate being here by getting up today, looking for something in your journey along the path that this world has never seen. Pick it up, bring it back and give it to the world. But that means you're going to have to be willing to get up today and be someone you've never been. Are you willing to give it a try? I hope so. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Lauren Michaels Harrison. On behalf of everyone here at Bathrobe Moments, happy post-election day. Happy Wednesday. I'll meet you all out front on the front porch tomorrow morning, God willing, at 8 a.m. Central, where together we will have another illuminated conversation. Where? Right here on Bathrobe Moments. Thanks again, Wendy. Have a great day. God bless you now. Take care. Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show